So this is the video about some common mistakes we might have in the experiment. Since we're using the same circuit like last time, so we also have some same mistakes here. So again, we need to care about the units. In this lab, we're calculating the time constant and the cutoff frequency. So if we're just using the original units, nanofarad and kilo ohm, it will be really hard to determine the final the final unit for tau and omega c. So instead, we convert those units to the standard units, and we will know that the unit for tau will be seconds, for omega c will be radian per second. And we also need to care about the common ground pin for oscilloscope, the ground pin of each probe, they have to connect together, and also the polarity of the capacitor. You can look back at the video from last lab. And also, we might want to oh, be careful about the impedance, like about the frequency when we calculating the impedance. So these are the equations for impedance. So we need to be careful that inside those equations we're using omega, which is the analog frequency, instead of digital frequency. I know the digital frequency maybe is more common and more intuitive because we know it's indicate how many cycles are happening in each in 1 second. But when we're calculating those impedance, we're using the analog frequencies. So if we only have the digital frequency, we need to use this equation to convert it back to analog and then apply it to those equations. But I think for this lab, um, we got our frequency from this equation, so it's already the analog frequency. So don't really need to worry here. And the last one is not really a mistake, but since we have many simulations in this lab, and in case there are people want to try the simulation by themselves, just want you to know that NAU has provide the remote services. So even you're staying at home, you can still access those simulation software through the remote services. If you click in those this link, or you just um, or if you just search for, let's see, remote desktop NAU. So in this page, if you are in the NAU campus or you are under the NAU network, you can just go directly to this one, remote apps, to this link. So it will give you 3 options. So for example, if you just want to use a browse-based client, you can just click on this one. So enter your NAU username and password. And looking for this 7th full desktop. So if you click on this, it will open a remote desktop in your web browser. I think it will take some time. Yeah, so this is when you are in the NAU campus or under the NAU network. If you are staying in home, stay at home, or if you're not under NAU network, you might need to look at the first tab here, which is the VPN, NAU VPN. So you need to install a software, a VPN software, from these links to make you inside the NEU network virtually. Then you can access those remote apps from this link here. Let's see. Yeah. So if everything works fine, you will be able to open a remote desktop from a web browser. Yeah. So that's it for the if you want to access the those simulation software, you can using this remote services from NEU network from an NEU website.